Our guest of honor has arrived, ready to go. I want to welcome everyone here today. I'm Lisa Stark, and I get to run the show. Usually Jane runs the show, so this is great. Thank you for venturing out in the cold today to honor Jane. When Cheryl started putting this together, she asked me if I would MC the event, and my first thought was, of course I would. And my second thought was, oh my gosh, I have to call Jane to find out what to wear. Yeah. Now, there are people here from all aspects of Jane's life. Family, friends, clients, the retail world, Capital Speakers Club, the military, her fashion show fans, everyone whose life that Jane has touched in some way, and we're all here to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So whether you're an intense, clear, soft, or subtle on Jane's color scales, you know that she will find just the right outfit to make you look fabulous. Jane reminds us there is no common shape. As Cheryl likes to tell me, there is only the magic of alterations.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Okay, it's all right, just the first one. Now Jane, as many of you know, knew all about 50 Shades of Grey before the book came out. And her vision was not X-rated, I don't think. So Jane gets you out of your comfort zone. I can't tell you how many times she has told me, you have to buy that. And I'm like, I can't wear that. And she's like, yes, and then I get all these compliments. Jane, of course, herself always turns heads as well. Let's face it, she's our therapist, our retail therapist. Who doesn't feel a lot better and a little poorer after one of our trips with Jane? We have a very full program today, so I'm going to get started. First, we're going to sprinkle in some of Jane's gems. They were all great. I couldn't read them all, I'm afraid. But I have to do the first one from Michelle Johnson. If Jane says it works, it works. Don't argue with her. So we're thrilled to be here at this wonderful salon, Desange. They have been taking care of Jane's clients for many years. You may not know it's actually an international company. It's headquartered in Paris, and it's located in 45 countries. The co-owners of the salon are our generouses today, Tim Brockhoff and Clark Corday, and Tim is here to say a few words. Tim.
Welcome to Desange. We've been working with Jane for, I don't know how long. Bob's been working with Jane probably 13 years now. And we've been open here 6 years, and we've been working with Jane for the full 6 years we've been open the salon here. As Lisa said, we're based out of Paris, France. We're in 45 countries around the world. Big international brand, and we're here to take care of discerning women and men, as Jane can say. But anyways, we're happy to be a part of this event. Like I said, we've worked with Jane for many years. We trust Jane very, very much. We know she does a great job, and we hope she feels the same about us.
Yes. Well, we have some special guests joining us this afternoon. First, I want to introduce Jane's daughter-in-law, Rachel Pennewell. And her child and Jane's granddaughter, Hannah. Jane's son Patrick and her other granddaughter Ella couldn't be here, but his wife and daughter are representing the family, and they've come all the way from Bernardino Beach, Florida. Right? Bernardino Beach, Florida. Okay, I just invented a new city. Jane has some other friends who've come from great distances. Did Sharon Donovan make it? I don't know if she's here. Okay. She was coming from Iowa. You know, that's one of those swing states. I don't think they let her.
Like any of the voters out until Tuesday.
Right, you can't leave. I think they've closed the borders. Michelle Johnson is here from Connecticut.
Sharon is right here.
Oh, Sharon is here. They let you out of Iowa. Okay, she's coming from Iowa. And where is Kate Smith? We have to give a real round of applause for Kate because Kate lives on Long Island. She had to leave to get gasoline to get down here. I mean, the woman's been through everything. So thank you so much for coming. And I also want to recognize, of course, Mitra Lore, over here somewhere, and Sharon Edelson. They are the dynamic duo who really organized today's event. Now, we really, of course, wouldn't be here today if it weren't for Jane, but we really wouldn't be here today also if it weren't for Cheryl. Cheryl had the vision for this event, and she was inspired because she's worked with Jane over the last 3 years, okay, not to convert 10% or 20% or 75%, but 100% of her wardrobe has turned over since she met Jane. She has worn a number of hats in her 30-plus year career. She was a pioneer in the cellular industry, and for the last 14 years, she has worked as a corporate real estate planner for government contracting firms Aspen Systems and Lockheed Martin. She also serves on a number of local and national boards. And before I bring her up, I want to read her Jane's gem. I was surprised to learn I could have more clothes with less using Jane's strategy of a base. Right?
Yeah.
Cheryl?
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. So great to see this place full. I'm all for you, Jane. I've had this recognition in my heart for a long time. And when I mentioned it to others, there were absolutely no hesitations. I called Lisa one day, and her client of 10 plus years, and she said, yes, I'm on board. And then I taught Tim and Claude of Desange were immediately a yes. And this Desange is the first stop on the journey for reinventing yourself. So we appreciate it. And Mitra Lore, who introduced me to Jane, who my husband can thank for turning over 100% of my wardrobe. And she was my partner in planning every step of the way. And everyone here enthusiastically came together, Jane, for you, to recognize your talents and your generosity of spirit. You've touched us, you've inspired us, and you get us. Jane gets it. Clothes matter. And how we choose to dress defines who we are. And how we look and what we wear tells a story. This was underscored by Linda Grant of The Thoughtful Dresser. And she wrote, the significance of clothes are the most intimate but also public expressions of our identity. It's not about being trendy or being glamorous. It's about self-expression and being deliberate in the world and being ready to make a difference. When you're a child, like your lovely granddaughter Hannah, it's called dress up. But when you're a professional, it's called dressing for success. You taught me that clothes convey an attitude. From the first shopping experience, I did become a convert. Season by season, I ditched my black for brown and navy. And according to Jane's color system, beige is my new white, and navy is my new black. And I see people shaking their heads. Jane starts with building the foundation, from the underwear to the eyewear to the evening wear. And Jane turned me into a fashion enthusiast with an outfit ready to go for every occasion. She taught me how to be out in the world with color. And last week when I was at a gala in the sea of black dresses, I was there in electric blue. Oh. And I know I'm a Jane fashionista when I go into my closet and it's all color organized on uniform white hangers. Jane reminds me also that shopping is a sport. We had an 18-hour marathon to New York City looking for an outfit for my son's bar mitzvah. Our most laughable moment was dragging 15 pairs of shoes, each of us dragging bags looking like Santa Claus across the floor, too heavy to carry. And that's why I wish Jane had her own line of powered shopping bags that could transport my bags to my car, or better yet, just type in my home address into a Jane GPS and it would lift off and you'd hear, "Here's Jane Jetson." I am eternally grateful to you, Jane, for being there for all sizes, for all seasons, and all events. And you are so deserving of this recognition today.
Now, when Cheryl told Jane she wanted to put this celebration together for her, Jane's first thought was, probably what am I going to wear? But her second thought, right? Her thought was, oh,
No, it was the last minute.
oh, okay. Her first thought really was of others. She said she wanted to use this occasion to honor the military and all of their contributions, obviously, to all of us. So Jane, with the help of some of our sponsors, provided a makeover for a military spouse. And to introduce her and to say a few words about Jane, I'd like to bring up Lota Norte. She's a liaison with the Naval Officers Spouses Club of Washington, D.C. Her husband is stationed at the Dutch Embassy as the Assistant Naval Attaché.
This past spring, Jane organized a fashion show for Naval Officers Spouses Club of Washington, D.C., and it was a huge success. So we were delighted when Jane wanted to honor the military today at this event. We introduced Amy Inselman, a military spouse, and she worked with Jane to reinvent her style. Jane worked with Amy from hair to clothes to accessories, all donated by Desange, Paris, and Bloomingdale's. Amy's husband is deployed in Afghanistan right now for the next 6 months. She has a 2-year-old daughter, and she is about to take a new job as the family and work-life consultant. I have to read this from my paper because it's huge. She is going to be the family and work-life consultant at Military Family Support Center at Joint Base Anacostia Bowling. I couldn't remember that one. I'd like to introduce to you Amy, who would like to say a few words.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming and thank you for honoring Jane and allowing me to be a part of this special occasion. And these last few days with you have been wonderful. It's been really special. She has a true gift of making you see your true image potential. I'm sorry, it's just, oh no. She's just a gem. She's so wonderful. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. So thank you. And on behalf of military spouses, I want to thank all of you for honoring us and for our members that are serving overseas. Thank you again for everything.
Before you go, we have a certificate for the Outback Steakhouse.
Oh, thank you.
And Macy's thinks you need to shop there too. Now, as you can tell by this room, Jane's focus is primarily on women, but not entirely. She has helped teenagers find their perfect style. She's helped men find that perfect outfit, for the football party or the office meeting. In fact, one of Jane's gems today comes from a man, Dan Davis, I believe. He says Jane taught him, wear a fancy hat even if it's a baseball hat. You're not wearing a hat today, Dan.
No, I have one out in the car.
Okay, good, just to make sure. All right. But I would like to introduce another man, Steve Komarow, who is the White House editor for Bloomberg. He's going to talk about Jane's broad reach. He and his family are longtime clients and close friends of Jane.
Oh, very cool.
I must say I was kind of stunned to be asked because I'm sort of one of these begrudging people putting the suit on is not what I like to do. You know, I'm in the news business, you know, we're supposed to be covered with ink and wearing blue jeans and screaming a lot, mostly unrepeatable stuff. But for Jane, I'll do anything. I've known Jane for about 14 years, I guess, since the 90s. Like most good things in my life, it came through my wife, who met Jane at a consignment store in McLean, Fashion Exchange, which Jane was involved with. Are you still involved with it? No,
actually.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, there you go. And
You started it.
yes, I
yeah,
started it.
yeah. And my wife remains a consignment store addict, but it's a different problem. Well, you know, we just sort of became friends. First, Stephanie, who's sitting in the back there, went and got her colors and stuff done by Jane and started organizing her wardrobe. I can remember Jane coming over the house and just throwing everything away, panicking about the cost, because that's my job. And but then Jane did my colors as well, and someone mentioned the blacks went away, you know, the blacks and browns went away. So now I wear a few browns. All right, well, anyway,
Yeah.
you can tell. I have to ask Jane because I have no sense of color myself. And not a white shirt, though. There are no white shirts
no
left. We have two daughters, and my younger daughter, Kayla, who's at Emerson College in Boston and couldn't be here today, is the one who sort of took after Aunt Jane and got a summer, and she's a tyrant. You know, she's the one who tells me and Stephanie what we're not allowed to wear and what we are. Stephanie steals her clothes. And Kayla, this past summer, actually worked in the Pennewell store over here at Tyson's and did what Jane does, sort of what she learned from Jane. I mean, this is women's casual clothes, I guess. And she even got mentioned in the national company newsletter as a top salesperson, though she just worked part-time there. So she's got a knack that she picked up from Jane. She's now working a day a week at the Pennewell in Boston.
I think she's doing very well.
She's doing very well. It's I don't know if she'll make a career out of it or just have fun with it, but she likes to play with clothes at great expense to her parents. That's okay. We're happy with it. You know, some other kids have other addictions. We're happy their clothes are served. Her main avocation is she wants to be an actress. Emerson is in a school that's big in theater arts, and so we hope someday that Kayla will be calling Jane and saying, "What should I wear on the red carpet?" That's what we're hoping. We'll see, but that's what we're hoping. Now, Michelle is here, and Michelle is a friend from Berlin, Germany. We lived in Berlin for 3.5 years, and Jane came and visited once. And anyone who hasn't done this, and I assume most of you have not, one of the memorable experiences of my life is picking Jane up at an airport where she is packed for a trip to Europe. You can see Jane from behind the suitcase. You know, nowadays with the separate baggage fees.
So you would brought the hangers.
Yeah, rubber hangers. I mean, nowadays I don't know if anyone could afford it. What does an airline do when someone packs that much? I expect you have it in the overhead bins. So Jane met Michelle there, I guess, the first time, and they've stayed in touch ever since and get together. And you know, and all that's sort of the clothing end of things, but Jane is really, what's important to me is Jane is a dear friend. And, you know, we've remained close through all these years. There were times where she was like my second spouse, not in the benefits part, but in the chores part, you know, like a car would break down or a toilet would get clogged or something, and I would be dispatched. But these are all very fond memories. And we hope to have many more of those, and I'm just delighted that you guys are honoring such a great person. Thank you.
So I just want to start with another Jane's gem here. Jane's advice is always sound and thoughtful. One tip, don't buy it unless you really need it.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel we're wearing a black tie. I feel like I should go burn it after this event. No, sorry. Anyway.
You've done great.
Okay.
By accident.
There you go. Bought these with Jane.
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to take a few minutes just to tell you a little bit about Jane. You know, we've all been there, a time in our lives when everything just totally seemed set out for us. In her 30s, Jane felt her life was in place. She was married, she had 2 sons, she was working for a Fortune 500 company, and she was traveling along a path that she thought would bring her off into the future. But as we often find out, there's no guaranteed path in life. As she approached her 40th birthday, Jane's world really started falling apart. She suffered health problems, her marriage broke up, and then the unimaginable, of course, her 17-year-old son, Scotty, lost his life in a car accident. As you can imagine, it was too much, it was overwhelming. Jane ended up in disability. She went to bed basically and pulled the covers over her head, which I think is what we all would have done. But Jane was rescued, first by a friend who came over every day and played dress up. And then eventually, Cindy, okay, and then eventually managed to get Jane to actually go out to lunch all dressed up. And when that happened, people would tell Jane that she looked so great. And that was just a little thing, but it made her feel good. It made her feel like there was some hope and a glimpse of a brighter world out there. Well, Jane was also saved by someone else, herself. She pulled herself out of her depression and she really reinvented her life. In 1986, Jane decided to start her own color and image consulting business. Her goal was to make people look marvelous, of course, but also to make people feel happy, to feel joy in their own bodies, in their own skin, and in their own clothes. She has shopped with clients famous and not so famous, wealthy and not so wealthy, all over the world, from Paris to New York, from Neiman's to Loehmann's, my favorite. And you may not know this, but Jane actually speaks 3 languages: Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. I have to thank her friend for that joke. I didn't make that one up. Do you really speak 3 languages? No. Anyone who has hunted through the rack with Jane knows her eagle eye for color and fabric. Now, I can look at a rack of clothes and I see a rack of clothes, nothing. And she can just pick out a gem in 2 seconds. And along those lines, I want to read a gem that Janet Snyder wrote. She says, "I cannot shop without having you inside my head. I know now what to purchase and what colors work. It says, does it say what red to purchase? What red to purchase and what colors work. You are a creative genius," which is true. I always go to the rack. My motto is, what would Jane say? You know, I hold it up. Yes, no. Now, in 1998, Jane continued to grow personally. I don't know if many of you know, but she actually has a home decorating business as well. So if you need your home redone, you need 100% of your home redone? Yeah. Sure. She'll be happy to do it. But the world was not through throwing Jane curveballs. In 2004, she and I were actually shopping at Neiman's when she got a call about her grandson that he had drowned, and it was another horrible family tragedy. Jane's friends rallied around her, as they have today, and helped her through it. And our sympathy, obviously, to you as well. Sorry. Many of us would have cracked at that point and been tempted to crawl back under the bed. But Jane somehow again found the inner strength to pull herself up and face the world with humor and vigor and a sense of purpose. She has said that all this sadness reminds her that she needs